thing. I graduated from the Department of Architecture at the University of Florence in Italy. And then afterwards, I moved to Turkey, working first at the Bilkent University in the Department of Interior Architecture. Later, life wanted me to come to Izmir, and so I took place and took part in the foundation period of this university at Izmir Economy University, created the Department of Interior Architecture. We founded together also with our team the Department of Architecture, Yacht Design, and went through many nice experiences until today. Many people misunderstand or classify it only in a certain angle, that's saying it's an interior design of a building interior. But actually, I believe interior design covers many aspects. For example, we can go in the sector of caravans, yacht design. We can be not only in the construction sector, we can go in the sale environment, furniture design, but let's make it a little bit more extraterrestrial, is going to outer space design, as we see it in SpaceX. Elon Musk has shown us that there is a large potential, but there is another aspect also which interior designers under-evaluate until now. Maybe the new generation is looking after it more in detail, but don't take it so serious, which is the virtual environment, the game in interior design. I'm not concentrating myself on a certain, specific research field. But if you want me to classify it in that sense, I would say it's design management, but also I would say there is this, which I'm very much interested, visionary and future interior design, visionary future philosophy in design, and then there's coming also the philosophy of design in education, in relationship also to psychology. Because every time when we are designing also ourselves. Not only we are reflecting our ideas and giving it to the society, but we also take something for ourselves and develop. It's a process. So I think I'm very much interested in this process because, as we said, design management is also a process. Visionary future design is also a process. And so therefore, these are very, if you want to narrow me these aspects, 3 fields which I'm interested in. Actually, I think it's a very important aspect, or let's say a little very important approach, because I believe that visionary and future design is to use it in education is an approach, because we need from that point of view start to see it. Let's start from the origin. What is visionary design? Actually, it was founded, as much as I remember, in 1960 at the Modern Art Museum in New York, Manhattan, when there was an exhibition, and they did this exhibition under this topic, and there were exhibited many works from history and current period during that time, which were works which are unrealistic, which cannot be realized, which are imaginary, which are in a certain way a dream world, which in the same moment questions the society, the politics, the culture. Here we are actually as designers, which we are expressing through a work, our statement, our idea, our ideology. I think visionary and future design, to check it under this aspect, is very important. Not only because in that we would like to connect it to the part of, or we can say, education, because we are asking the students not only to design something which is a current trend or to make a copy-paste of the current trend or to satisfy a client, but first of all, trying to understand who I am, what do I want to be, and where do I want to go, because I'm the next generation, and the next generation is building on new generation, and it's a process. So visionary and future design is actually a concept of, for me, as I stated it already in my research also, it's an idea to question the current situation, because if you are not questioning anything, if you are not challenging the current politics, society, or not challenging with violence, with words, with ideas, with works, then how can we process? The society would still live in the cave. So even Newton, questioned everything before he figured out actually that the world is different, that we have gravity, etc., etc. So I think visionary future designers, if I come back, I don't want to extend it from this point of view because it is a never-ending story. It's actually a personal statement of something which gives a vision and an opportunity for others to go towards something, a light at the end of a tunnel. But the light of the end of the tunnel is continuing. There's never actually an end of a tunnel. There is a continuity.
İzmir Ekonomi Üniversitesi. Bilimle anla, bilgiyle yönet.